Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Music. This was co-written and directed by Sia, and who also provided extra music for the film. The film stars Maddie Zelger, Kate Hudson, and Leslie Odom Jr. The film really focuses on Zoo, played by Kate Hudson, and Music, played by Maddie Zelger. They're two sisters. It really looks at how Zoo is newly sober when she receives news that she is to become the sole guardian of her half-sister named Music, a young girl on autism spectrum. It looks at how these two sisters try and connect once again, and they haven't seen each other in a number of years. And it's about the effect that has on the people around them and them themselves. I really like this film. I thought it was very interestingly done. I think Sia is one of the most creative and inventive sort of artists out there, and to harness what she does and put it into film in such a great way is fantastic. The world that is imagined within Music's head, so we get to see inside Music's head and how she sort of feels she experiences things, and it's all done through music and dancing and stuff like that. But the creativity that Sia is able to put into that is just extraordinary to watch. She's creative in a way I don't think I could ever be, and I really love what she's able to do within this world, within Music's head. I think is fantastic. I found an engaging film. I found it filled with interesting characters, and ultimately each character is going through their own struggle. It might be internally or externally. And it's about them trying to come to terms with things and move forward and accept who they are and accept the circumstances that they now find themselves in. I thought the acting was solid in here. I think Leslie Odom Jr. does a really great job here. I think he's a really interesting character. He has his own struggles. And his connection with Music and then Zoo is kind of very interesting to watch. It's like he becomes part of their little group, part of their family. It's a film about characters making their own family rather than just having the family that they're sort of born with. I thought Kate Hudson was fine. Her character grinded me a little bit, and I found her a little frustrating, and I didn't know if I really cared too much for her. But she added to the story, and it was really about her relationship that she had with Maddie Zelger's Music that was really fascinating, the core part of the film. But the real standout here is Maddie Zelger. I think she's fantastic. She conveys so much emotion without saying too much. She expresses herself in a very interesting way. And her portrayal of someone on the autistic spectrum is really great, I felt. It felt real, and you felt for her. You felt for that character and her struggles. But she's kind of this really beautiful character as well. Even though she can't express herself like everybody else, there's still a beauty to her and a kindness to her and a really fascinating character hidden within that. And I know there was some controversy about the fact that Sia cast someone who didn't have autism for this particular role. But I still think she did a really great job. Maddie did a really great job, and it was a real standout here. And you felt protective of her. You felt connected to her. You felt like you wanted to keep her safe. And I really loved that. You're able to convey that in such a simple way. I think there's a great story there. I think there's elements to it that are really good. There's some powerful moments. There's some moments that emotionally affected me, and I kind of like that. And it was just sort of a beautiful story, a beautiful, simple story about this young girl, Music, who overcomes so much and who's still a great person within her struggles. And I loved that. I thought she was such a beautifully crafted and executed character. I love all the music that was used. Sia's music's really great. I loved all the dance sequence and the music elements within Music's world when we get to see inside of her head and how she feels she experiences things. All this stuff was the best part. It was so creative and inventive. There's different costumes and these big clothes and small clothes, and the way that Sia uses the space for these particular sequences is just fantastic. There's a beauty to it. There's just something really interesting about the film. I just felt for a first-time filmmaker, it's a very solidly made film, made by someone who cares and by someone who is very creative and understands particular aspects of the human psyche to be able to convey and create such a fascinating film. I just found myself sucked into the world, and I felt for a lot of the characters, and it's really interesting how people form their own families. That's an aspect I really liked. The couple of things I would say about it that I thought could have been a little better or I didn't enjoy as much is at times this film felt like just a collection of video clips tied together or sewn together to make a film, even though there was a story being told. And I guess that sort of comes from Sia, coming from that sort of music world and video clips and stuff like that. She hasn't sort of found her feet in how she wants to make films quite yet. But in saying that, I still think it's a great film, and I think she did a good job with it. Like I said, Kate Hudson's character I didn't connect to as much as I wanted to. I didn't really care for her to begin with. She grew on me a little, but not enough to have the power and the effect that that character should have had on an audience member. There's a decision they make with a particular character that I don't know if I like that decision. This particular character's storyline felt like slowly starting to add something to the story and to Music's character. But then they made this decision, and I think it just didn't have the conclusion for that character that I think they really needed. Final thoughts. In the end, it's really about the family we create for ourselves, that we're all going through different struggles, and that sometimes we just need a bit of support or someone to be there to point us in the right direction, to hold our hand when we find things difficult and struggle to go on, and someone to provide that support that sometimes we need. I'm going to give Music 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was a solid and well-crafted film, but I think it's a very important film. It's a film we kind of need now. There's a positivity and a lightness, even in the darkness and in the struggles of the characters. It just feels like this is just a positive film that we really need to see more of. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Follow me on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.